Oh, hello.
Bluetooth mode.
Oh, hello. There it is. Alright, hey, I'm Mike Coppolino. I'm a street comic. I do stand-up comedy. This is the 22nd street comedy album I've done so far. I guess. That was to annoy the people that are just walking past, minding their own business. How can they even understand that this is a joke or not? But, I don't know, I put that little theme in front, just so, like, you know, if I ever actually do shows in front of, like, thousands of people, they could just play that and it'd be like the Rocky theme, you know? Whatever that is. You know, some fucking Bluetooth mode. Like, I would like that. Bluetooth mode. I don't even know what Bluetooth means, but we might as well just get this thing started. Like, whatever Bluetooth means, it means you can get it on like a $17 instrument. If you buy it in China, if the tariffs don't take effect. I'm actually doing this show on a PA system that cost me $17. It cost me $17. I bought it at the on Amazon. You know, it's horrible. I know I did it. I didn't even buy it on Amazon. I bought it on some random website that sells Chinese stuff cheap. Anyway, it was $17.99, so I bought two of them. So I have a spare if I need one. But I probably do need one. I mean, all of us probably do need one. This might just be an ad for this thing, whatever this is. Bluetooth mode. Alright. Anyways, hey, I'm Mike Coppolino, and I look like I smell. Yeah, I look like drugs. Thank you. Thank you. People keep telling me I live in a bad neighborhood because I live there. But it's not true. I actually live in a bad neighborhood because I built it myself. Thank you. Alright. Oh. So I'm terrible at relationships. I'm terrible at relationships. All of my ex-girlfriends still like me. But that's probably not true anymore, so I don't know how good that joke is. I heard William Shatner's version of 8675309. I'm a fan of William Shatner's music, and his acting, and everything he does. But his latest album was not so great. He did a cover of 8675309 by Tommy Two-Tone. You know that song, 8675309? Usually it's very melodic. Well, William Shatner did that song, and it wasn't. William Shatner just kept repeating the number until you got it. He just kept repeating the number until you got it. He just kept saying 86, 75,399, 8,675,039. Oh, he said it like that monotone voice that William Shatner has. So, I don't know what you call that. Would you call that art? Oh, God. So me and my girlfriend had this huge argument because we're Italian. We had a huge argument in this joke. Yeah, I walked in... See, now I have to make shit up about my arguments because I went off script. Oh, it's cold out. Jeez. I should smoke more weed, but I can't now. It's too late. I have to rescue myself somehow. Oh. I don't know. I actually train drug-sniffing dogs for a living. I'm the bait. I'm the bait. No. I don't work for anybody. I'm a freelance drug-sniffing dog trainer. I'm a freelance drug-sniffing dog trainer because I have extra drugs. Yeah. I train them to look at people's shoes to let me know who the cops are. Thank you. Alright. People can tell me I look like Ron Jeremy. It's a horrible fate. People do it. They just keep... Who knows who Ron Jeremy is, first off? Like, who knows in this audience of, like, no one who Ron Jeremy is? And the people who don't are good people, obviously. But for the people that do, Ron Jeremy is a porn star. He is the porn star. and he looks like me. And sometimes I get so depressed about it, I have to go to a support group for Ron Jeremy lookalikes. I do. You know, every Thursday we all show up, we just talk about our dicks until someone feels insecure. Yeah, that's how we cope with it. But I think I've finally reached a point of acceptance or something. Like there's a stage somewhere where you just accept things. It's always in everything, the stage of acceptance. And I've accepted looking like Ron Jeremy. And I've accepted it so much that I usually go to shows where Ron Jeremy is scheduled to appear. And I show up an hour before the show, and I just hang out at the bar and pretend I'm Ron Jeremy. So that people will take celebrity photographs with me. That's what I do now. Ron Jeremy actually tours in small bars and does comedy. He does comedy now. So I don't know if I could be on his tour because that might be a little too redundant. But I am kind of on his tour, you know, because I do this thing. And I hang out at the bars, and I get pictures taken with me with people who think I look like Ron Jeremy. Actually, they think I am Ron Jeremy, that I just showed up, I'm just hanging out. Because I say I'm Ron Jeremy. I just don't say it. You know, I just hang out at the bar, leaning against it, being all cool. And people naturally show up, and they say, hey, it's nice to meet you. I say, it's great to meet you. And then they get their pictures taken with me. And then they're super pissed off when Ron Jeremy shows up. Yeah, that's what happens. They're super pissed off when Ron Jeremy finally shows up for the show, because he walks in and goes right to his dressing room. You know, because he's got to put on a shirt. He's got to put on a special shirt for his show. And he walks past the whole audience and me, leaning against the bar. And they see him, and then they stare at me. Because Ron Jeremy doesn't even know I exist. Like, so they just all stare at me, and they're all pissed off. And the reason they're all pissed off is because Ron Jeremy's 4'8". He's 4'8" tall. I don't know if you knew this, but Ron Jeremy, the porn star, is 4'8". And they didn't expect that, because whenever they see a Ron Jeremy porno, if you're a big fan, you know that he looks like a normal-sized human being in those pornos, you know, like you and me. He looks like me. He looks like me. I'm a normal-sized human being, except that I'm not 4'8". He's perfectly proportional. He's all 4'8". He's Ron Jeremy. He just walks right through. People are amazed. And they're amazed that he's short, but they're pissed off now because they realize they've been deceived. They've been deceived by Ron Jeremy. Because here's the secret to all Ron Jeremy pornos. Whenever they film a Ron Jeremy porno, they film the entire movie in 3/4 scale to fit the size of the human being. Because if Ron Jeremy's 4'8", all you have to do is make the furniture 3/4 scale, and then everything's normal size. You just got to film it right. You know? So whenever they film it, the sofa is 3/4 the size of a regular sofa. Like the bed is 3/4 size of a regular bed. The girl is 3/4 size of a regular girl. All of the spatial relationships in the room are 3/4 the size of the regular spatial relationships. And the whole reason they do this is to make Ron Jeremy's dick look bigger. That's how they do it. They make him look like a normal-sized human being by making the room seem like a normal-sized room. It's the truth. It's the truth. Because people think Ron Jeremy's dick is like 15 inches long. You know, that's why he's such a big fucking star. You know? In reality, Ron Jeremy's dick is only like 8 3/4 inches long. It's only 8 3/4 inches long. That's a normal size for a comedian. Alright. Alright, that's the end of that joke. I get all worked up sometimes. You know, the trouble is, I didn't wear my shirt. I usually have the recording shirt on. It has like special pockets, so I can adjust the levels on my recording. But now I'm just holding the phone out looking like a douche, you know, while I'm recording. Oh, hey, would you like to hear a joke? Would you like to hear a joke, please? Please? Alright. So I've done acid, obviously. I've done acid over 250 times this year. I've done acid over 250 times this year, and acid doesn't affect me. Acid doesn't affect me. Acid makes me incredibly sober. You know, like seriously, I wake up every morning and think, oh great, the sky's exploding, how should I dress? You know, covered in ants or covered in spiders, what do I choose? Oh man. Saw a news story the other day where a man swallowed a live trout. A man swallowed a live trout and he died. Yeah, he died right in the stream where he caught it. Just goes to show you, not all people are pelicans. Durex just came out with a condom that enhances male sensitivity. Durex, the condom company. You know, finally, right? For hair protection, each condom is wrapped in its own little apology note. So I've had my trouble with cocaine, because who hasn't? Who hasn't had trouble with cocaine? Raise their hands. Most of them should. Most of the hands should be raised in this imaginary audience, but obviously I've had trouble with coke because I'm a comic, and that's statistically feasible. So I had a huge cocaine problem. Once it got so bad, I ended up going to an NA meeting. I was so strung out. I had to leave my paycheck around almost 3 minutes before I got any coke. Thank you very much. You know, I think the worst thing about coke actually is when you mix psych meds with it. You mix psych meds with coke, it just makes you really confident about telling people about all your shitty depressive qualities. Like everything that happened in your life, all your abuse just comes out and you guys feel purged. I think that's a huge problem, you know? That confidence. You know, the confidence in being depressed. Oh, I'm depressed. Let me share it with you. You know, I saw a billboard today. I saw a Lyft billboard. And it was just like an advertisement for people with blue hair so they can get a job and be their own boss, you know. Actually, it was like an advertisement for poverty, I thought. And that's a rough thought. Again, this is a practice session for an album, but, you know. I'm practicing for an album called Jokes for Schizophrenics. First off, what just happened, like a few minutes ago, I'm doing a callback on what just happened a few minutes ago. I had people walk past while I was doing comedy, while I was practicing for the show. And they were a hip couple. You know, they were a hip couple. They had just gone to like a freestyle rap show, like next door. And they probably saw a lot of freestyle rap. And they thought, oh my God, this is freestyle rap. But they were hip, you know, it's because they wanted to show up. So they showed up and they saw freestyle rap. And then they came out of the venue and they were like two people just strolling by. And they saw me. And they thought, oh my God, I'm going to get mugged like this by this person with a PA system. Because I guess they didn't expect freestyle rap to be like that. But it is. There's a lot of people with face tattoos and they're legit. You know, but they don't really know how to freestyle rap. They just imagine that they know how to freestyle rap. So they freestyle rap. And, you know, when they're not killing people. And these hip people saw that. And now they're going back to their condo that they overpay for. And then they see me on the streets and they go, oh my God, this is happening again. So they go back home and they watch a bunch of comedy specials on Netflix, and then they're safe. But anyways, the album I'm doing is going to be called Jokes for Schizophrenics, because the only people I actually get as an audience are schizophrenics. That's actually the truth, because the rest of the audience are those people. They walk past, they don't understand. So my audience is usually all the people that hear this microphone and think their medication suddenly isn't working and it's back to the old times. That's what happens, because the medication doesn't account for like strange things. So like if strange things in reality happen, they just think, oh, this is reality again, and it fucks them up. And they usually like cling to like telephone poles and trees and parking meters and shit, and they cling to them like they're in a wind, and they talk to themselves again, and I have to talk them down. I have to get them back to normal. So I have to tell these jokes, and these jokes are geared to my audience. So I've been doing street comedy for 5 years. All these jokes are geared to my audience. These are the only jokes they understand, all right? So bear with me. All right. Anyways, you ever wonder if dolphins get venereal disease? And have you ever wondered if dolphins get... Have you ever wondered if dildos are tested on laboratory animals? I mean, they're for human consumption, and there might be an allergic reaction. They should, right? They should. You know, who knows? You know, I know, because they did a consumer report. They did a consumer report, and they found out that 8 of 35 dildos tested in this consumer report had uncomfortably high levels of heavy metals. Heavy metals were leaking into these dildos and causing reactions. It's the episode of House you've all been waiting for. Like, this is the episode of House that they could have made if they had just tested dildos on laboratory animals when they should have. Then they had to, but instead they had to wait for a consumer report to find out that all these dildos are like leaking mercury and lead into people and giving them a retardation. I'm sorry, retardation. You know, like it's causing their brains to like crumble. It's heavy metal poisoning. That's what it does. That's why you don't eat lead-based paint. You know, or pleasure yourself with it. Anyways, I've been asking people if dildos are tested on laboratory animals for like 4 years, randomly at audiences, and I already knew the answer. I knew the answer 2 weeks after I started doing it, because my friend showed me his dildo. It was in the box. He says, it says it right here in the box. It says that these dildos are not tested on laboratory animals. It said it on the box. So I can sleep better at night, you know? I can sleep better knowing they're not grinding dildos into some poor rabbit's eyes. You know, with a pepper grinder. See, if I tell that joke and yell it at people, like, that's not funny. But the setup was funny. They should have waited for, like, the punchline. But they didn't, because it's cold out. Like, no reasonable person does a show like this in the cold. Unless they're wearing 3 shirts. No. That's how I gauge temperature, by shirts. How many t-shirts am I wearing? I'm wearing 3 shirts. So, it's a 3-shirt night for practice 22. Oh, God. Alright, that was a joke. I could have done, like, the dolphins get venereal disease joke, too. But now I'm just off script. I don't care anymore. Like, why should I care? Ugh. See, the only thing I care about is repeating jokes. When I get all freeform like this, then I don't know what I'm doing, because I'm scripting, but I'm not really scripting, you know? I just gotta, like, wait until I find something funny to say. Ugh. So anyways, what do I want to do? Anyways, I could do all my job-related material, my job stuff, because you know jobs are funny. You know, applying for jobs are funny. It's the funniest thing. You go to a job interview, and then you get interviewed by somebody that's beneath you, and that's always fun, you know. Actually, I got a good job because I ended up like finding somebody that actually knew what they were doing. But Jesus, it was like I had to like work the system. Like it was crazy. It's crazy to work the system. And then they're stuck with you, and you have to do a good job. Like even though you say all this stuff, I think they could fire you at any moment for saying all this stuff. I'm just saying, but then you have to be good on the job. Like you can't actually be funny anymore. You actually have to be a good plumber. That's the deal. You have to be a good plumber then. But then you got to divorce yourself from being a good plumber, and you have to be funny. You know, standing on a ladder for 8 hours a day is not funny. It's not. But then you have to do this. So usually you have to do a lot of drugs between doing a real job and doing this. So I usually do that. Yeah, actually my spirit animal is a Walmart in Akron, Ohio. It just keeps telling me I can do twice the work in half the time. That's the reason for my shitty work ethic. I think marijuana is a gateway drug. It's a gateway for realizing, it's a gateway for realizing your boss is an asshole. I'm sorry. Already, it's like, I'm sorry. This is a script. This is a script. You know, I think nitrous oxide kills brain cells that get in the way of me having a great time. You know, that's a script. That's a joke. I mean, you can't test people for nitrous oxide in a drug test because it's just nitrogen. It just shows up as more piss. You know, you can't do it. You gotta give them a special test. You gotta give them an IQ test, you know, to find out how much nitrous oxide is in their system, how many whippets they're doing. You know, then you give them a job at a gas station. You know, that's how you qualify for a job at a gas station. It's a gas, you know. Yeah, it's a joke. All right. They say the early bird gets the worm, but the meth bird stays awake. So who really gets the worm? This is also a joke, I guess. Who really gets the worm? Early bird or meth bird? It's actually the early bird that gets the worm because the meth bird is never hungry. They're storing all their worms in a storage locker. Oh, man. Alright, speaking of jobs, I failed a drug test. Yeah, I failed a drug test. Can you believe it? Yeah. I applied for a job, but they made me go to Aurora to pee in a cup because that's what Aurora is famous for. You know, that and airports. Anyways, I do this. I erase all my dignity. And then I'm driving home and the lab calls me back and says, hey, it's Mr. Coppolino. Bad news. You're hired. You get the job. You're hired. Yeah, when can you start bagging fertilizer at the shit factory? You know. And please, bring your own shovel. Bring your own shovel. Man. My spirit animal is a Gatorade bottle that's super nervous because it thinks it's filled with piss. It is. It thinks it's filled with piss. It's super nervous. Ugh. It's all warm. It doesn't understand it should be in the fridge. It's a Gatorade bottle. It should be there for drinking. It's still there for drinking. I don't know. Oh, God. These things are horrible. I was talking to my financial planner the other day. After going over the books, we decided my best option for retirement would be to take enough drugs to hallucinate a condominium. That's my best option for retirement. That way I could sell the condominium, I could buy more drugs, and I could hallucinate a 3-bedroom house with a swimming pool. You know? Seems like a great plan. Only trouble is, every time I meet this financial planner, we do all the drugs, and his office is still a coffee shop. That's the huge problem. You know? One time I suggested, hey, you know, we're businessmen. We know what we're doing. Why don't we just take enough drugs to hallucinate more drugs? We know math. We could just eliminate the middleman that way. That's how good businesses are run. He said, no, we shouldn't do that. You know, but I did it anyways. And now I live in Greeley. Alright, thank you. That's a joke. That's a regional joke. Oh my gosh, coffee. It's tough getting through the rough times, but then the good times are funny. Alright. So I did mention I do a lot of acid. I do a lot of acid. You know, I need acid to do normal things. I had to drop 5 hits of acid just to do my taxes. Yeah, I ended up claiming an astral body as a blind dependent. That's 3 deductions. You know? It's 3 deductions. You know? But I claimed it when it was illegal. I claimed it in 1989. It was a legal deduction in 1989, and then the stock market crashed, and they said, no, we shouldn't do this anymore. You know, but everyone still does it, you know, a little bit. That's why I have to do acid. I have to just keep up with the fucking codes, the new code books. It's what you do. Like I did acid in 1989. I claimed it's seduction. Now I figure like it's a regular thing. So I just keep having to do more and more acid just to keep from like, you know, keep all my business in order. So anyways, I've been audited 3 times, obviously. I've been audited, but I never really worry about it because I save all my receipts. Yeah, I save all my receipts. Yeah, the last time I was audited, this tax assessor came up to me and says, "Hey, Mr. Coppolino, it says here you have 19 sole proprietorships. You have 19 sole proprietorships. I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if that's possible for you. You have 19 sole proprietorships. You have 44 limited liability corporations, Mr. Coppolino. And you have this weird non-profit corporation that exchanges currency between Malaysia and Greece. It's a weird one. Mr. Coppolino, how can you possibly exist on $4,000 a year?" That's what he said to me. And I said, "How do I even know I'm really here right now? How do you even know I'm really here right now? You followed me from a coffee shop to another coffee shop, thinking this is my home address. This is my billing address." Anyways, that's how you get out of an audit. Oh gosh. How jokey are these jokes? Oh man. You know, I should just cut this up and just make it into like different jokes. And cut out all the extra stuff, like all the bullshit in between. Like you're drinking a coffee, you're smoking a joint, like you're talking into your phone, you're not looking at your phone. Imagine that, you're not looking at your phone. Maybe that's the thing that people are actually doing when they're on stage. You know, when they're doing stand-up comedy and they bring their phones up. Maybe they're not looking at their phones. Maybe they're just thinking, "Oh, it's just being recorded. It's so good. This is how I must record it." Oh. No, they're actually looking at their phones for the jokes. Oh, I know. You must have seen it. You must have seen it. It was like this rap battle over here. They weren't looking at their phones for the lyrics of the rap battle, though. They were just inviting people on stage to rap. You know, because they didn't know what they're doing. They're multilingual rapists. They're multilingual, so they're rapping in a language that nobody understood. So I guess they had flow, but nobody understood the lyrics. Wouldn't that be awesome? Wouldn't that be like demanding of respect? That'd be awful. Like if you were like Vietnamese and you were doing a Vietnamese rapper, you just did Vietnamese rap, but you also had street attitude. So you made sure people understood that you were hot and you were the shit, but you were in America. You would just be like beating the shit out of people all the time. Be like Jet Li, like Gigi Allen Lee. How would you do Jet Allen? How would you do that? Just be a Vietnamese rapper that like eats his own shit and throws it at people. Somebody could do it. Somebody would get out of Vietnam that way. They should. Somebody should. Any country should do that. Every country should have their own Gigi Allen. And they should just show up in their own language and just start doing what they do. And then people would go see that. There's a lot of countries. You could have one for every day of the year. Just to go on tour. Somebody would want that. Oh man, can you imagine that? It's depraved. Anyways, how many popes does it take to screw in an altar boy? Speaking of depraved. You know, how should I know? I've repressed memories. These are Italian jokes now. I'm actually like moving into Italian jokes. Because I was already racist to begin with. Just by saying all that stuff. Now I'm just going to be equally racist to myself. I don't know if that's racist. That's just sick. I mean, that's my second worst joke. I'm not even going to do my first. I always have the first joke on reserve, but I don't do it. That's because I have it. It's a real joke. I'm just not going to do it. I'll do it on the 42nd album, and it's like an encore. Like the worst joke of all time. It'll be at the end of the album in the outtakes. You know, if there's like outtakes for this album that comes out. It's going to be called Jokes for Schizophrenics, by the way. If I can get past the stutter of like saying Jokes for Schizophrenics. Man. Speaking of which. Hey. So what's the worst thing about doing cocaine in a bathroom? What's the worst thing about doing cocaine in a bathroom? It's a joke.
It's a joke?
Yeah.
It's a shitty one.
You have to smell everything twice as much. No, actually, it's not seeing your kids on the weekend. That's the worst thing about doing cocaine in a bathroom. That's a much better joke. All right. So last weekend I entered a self-deprecation contest. I'm using a coffee cup to be louder. Yeah. Last week I entered a self-deprecation contest. I didn't win and I came in first place. Thank you. Alright. So me and my girlfriend been having trouble lately with the love life. It's a classic joke. So she suggested we get in the role-playing to spice it up, and I agreed naturally. So now twice a week, she pretends to be a waitress in a truck stop, and I pretend to be more attractive. That's a classic joke. Alright. Oh, man. So I say everything comes in handy for the obsessive masturbator. Yeah, it's true. Last night I jerked off to complete privacy. I wore a tinfoil hat while I did it, just to be sure. You know, because Jesus is always watching. You know. Actually, I have paranoid delusions of grandeur. Like, that's how schizophrenic I am. I make aliens wrap their heads in tinfoil to keep me from taking over. Thank you. Alright. That's like dominant schizophrenia. That's what scares people away from the trees. Ugh. My schizophrenic roommate has a large collection of samurai swords. Because that's the type of rent I can afford. Thank you. Oh man. So, I don't know if you know this, but I'm part of this vast nationalized protest against corporate greed. Yeah, I'm part of this vast conspiracy against corporate greed. I'm one of these people. I'm one of these people that specifically goes to Starbucks to shit in their bathrooms. Oh God, my thoughts are lost. No, I go to Starbucks to shit in their bathrooms. I buy coffee and everything, but that's what I do. You know, I'm one of these people that takes emergency shits in Starbucks and thinks it's a normal thing, because it is a normal thing, you know. But it's a protest against corporate greed also, you know. And that's why the bathrooms smell that way. It's a protest. Everyone's doing it, you know. There's no bathrooms. Actually, what do I do?
Oh, they all order drinks.
Keep going. Where does this end up?
Oh man, I gotta incorporate myself into this life. Anyways, this is practice 22. What am I doing? Oh, it's a bad show. I mean, it's a Thursday. It's a bad show. So maybe that's what the secret is. Cold hands. Oh, well, it's already 35 minutes. That's enough. That's enough. That's been a slice of life. My body just takes over in the cold. I don't know what to tell you, you know. But it is practice. I'm going to work on like getting an actual stage. I have like a midnight show starting in December. And I don't know. I'm gonna talk to this lounge like down the street and like show them a bunch of these albums and see if I can get like a warm weather show, like inside during when it's cold, and just randomly show up and do that. That's a good idea. Anyways, I've been Mike Coppolino. Have a great night.